This is African Real Insights Podcast.
Hey guys, Wagwan family. I go by the groovy Uncle Marcus. Pass up. I'm your man, I'm the man, and you can call me Uncle Marcus on all platforms. Fam, leo niko na mambo nataka kuwapatia. I have a guest, you're going to interact with him, but as usual, you know, this is where you learn the business behind film. You don't learn about the technical aspect. We don't teach you about setting up a camera, setting up a tripod, the parts of a tripod. We try thinking about the thinking process of a cinematographer, thinking process of an actor, before and after. So for today we've been honored by an actor, not a familiar face, a face that you commonly know but not a familiar face. Mmelake nimesema kama hujaelewa shida yako basi kenye nataka kukuambia ni this guy is a celebrity. You all know him. I think you know him. You've seen him somewhere on your screens. If you haven't, this is the first time you're seeing him. This is African Real Insights Podcast, and thank you so much Zander, man like Zander. Let him introduce himself. Now, ni nini amefanya kwa industry. On my right side, Zander, let's talk to your people. Tell them hi.
Habari zenu. My name is Zander Adika. I am an actor, commercial model. Nimekuwa in this game for almost like 8 years. So I've been working on small things, a lot of short films. Just recently did 2 TV shows. The biggest being MTV Sugar Down South. That was shot in South Africa, and then Sky Girls Pa was the one that was shot here in Kenya.
You said MTV Sugar?
Yes.
South Africa?
South Africa.
Zander, uko Kenya? Did you get, anyway, just continue. Atiso, the MTV Sugar, and the other one you mentioned was?
Pa. Born to Fly. I'm not familiar with that, but okay, a decade plus. That's almost a decade, 8 years in the game. Yeah.
So you met Zander. Zander, how did we meet? It was a set, isn't it?
Yeah, it was on the set of a company called Filamujuani, and we were doing a horror film.
Maybe tell them about the process. How was it on set?
That set was amazing. I tell you, like, it was one of the most, first of all, demanding sets. Ilitaji a lot of concentration, a lot of timing, learning the lines, getting to understand the crew, collaborations and stuff. So it was one of my first intense sets in the core.
Hapo umegonga ndipo, hapo learning kwa lines. So guys, as you know, on African Real Insights, what we do here is actually give you tips and tricks for you to improve and even interact better with your audience or clients. So for us, tip number 1, Zander shaguzia kushika lines. So for the tip number 1 as a cinematographer, you must save time for your client. Save time in your setup, save time in your set down. Unanielewa? And for a talent, Zander mwambia nini? Kushika lines. Zander, hebu expound, give that life. How do you save time as a talent by kushika lines? Ama ni situation gani umeingia ukapata kushika lines ni muhimu?
Nakwambia situations nyingi sana. Unajua kitu kubwa sana, tunakuanga enemies sana na watu wa AD because of timing.
AD, assistant director.
Saa zingine kaa kupendi, unaweza teseka hiyo siku. Unapenda kurush vitu sana. So kitu essential unafaa kuwa nayo ni your lines. Because the minute you have your lines and you're able to get the scenes on point, hata inapatia more time to explore more with the scenes. So learning your lines inasaidia sana. Me, the one time nilikuwa shida na lines, ilikuwa a long day on set. Afu watu wanaanza kuwa frustrated because it's not only you getting pressured. Simi pia anapatiwa pressure. Producers wako hapo on their necks, the ADs on the director's neck. So kila mtu like it's a chain reaction. So vitu ku learn your lines inakuanga very essential sana.
Thank you so much, Zander. It's actually really frustrating. Just imagine now as a cinematographer, I've already saved time for my client by setting up early, lights na crew tuko ready, tunakuframe, and then action, and you're there. To be or not, ilikuwa, nipe your line tena. You see, so it won't work. To save time, tip number 1 is save time for your clients by setting up early, set down early. That's for the camera department, and for the cast, Zander mwambia shika lines. There are places you'd go and people are like, tuna lines, tuna 2 instances. So that's okay. That's method acting, I think, where you're not given a script. But if you want to enter this industry as a proper actor, you actually have to have that skill to be able to master the lines. You must be able to kushika because you're a vessel. There's something, that's why I wrote that line there as a script writer. I'm going into my second point. Second tip itakuwa communication. How and who do you communicate with on set? And can you communicate effectively? So effective communication On set is very important. Before I go further, we are at ADMI Institute, and it's a behind the scenes. If you could have my view, I don't know if you can, but if you could have my views, the people seated behind there, just watching, courtesy of Isaac. And thank you so much. If you're tuning in for the first time, subscribe, follow, and share. Tip number 2, back to tip number 2, will be communication. How do you speak on set and who speaks to you? Zander, I'll put this question to you. Ukiwa location, cinematographer hukuongelesha na akikuongelesha, at what point does he speak to you as an actor?
That's very good. That's a very good question. So more often than not, as an actor, the main person of communication in Akwanga, your director.
Yeah.
Because you're essentially setting up what the character is about, the scene, and all of that. So the most important times munongeanga na the cinematographer is in blocking.
Blocking.
So,
okay.
Because you need to understand, first of all, the shots that you're working with. A lot of the time it's about the frame, so you need to know how far you can move, because hautaki kusonga sana sana and then you get lost. So mostly like blocking, sometimes in the pre-production, and also pia ukimess kiasi ama he needs to tune you but without disturbing the performance of, let's say, your fellow actor, anaweza hata kusukuma kiasi kusaidia tu
kusonga. Okay, as you've heard during blocking, just to shed in some lights into blocking. What is blocking? If you're not used to blocking or hearing these terms, unaweza uliza ni nini? Blocking ni kuambia talent songa hivi, composition, kumwambia penye scene inaanzia, a crew should be aware of this. Ujue ndo usikatwe, even while you're framing, ndo usikatwe na usitoke, so that we get the entire performance. You need to tell the talent where to stand. But this is communication, and as you heard, the cinematographer doesn't talk to the talent on location, apart from telling them where to stand majorly. Why? The person who talks to the talent is normally the director. The director talks to the talent. Why? To save time. Imagine kila mtu ongeleshe Zander na act, ako hapo ameshika lines. Cinematographer, songa hivi. Director, now cry. It won't make sense. So that's why the director needs to control. So we have a well-structured form of communication, and there's a system. There's someone, me as a cinematographer, I can also talk to the director to help him pass the information to Zander. But I can't directly go to Zander and tell him while on location, do this and this, because that's someone else's job. You need to learn how to speak while on location. Communication doesn't just work on location, it also trickles to your business. Well, with your clients, what are you guys talking about? Are you guys talking about equipment? Tukipitch, tukimwambia tunataka tufanye kazi, utamwambia nini? Nakuja na kamera zangu mbili na cameraman wawili, ama what are you gonna be pitching off? Are you pitching off results or the gear? Yeah. Most of the time, locally, we'd find ourselves pitching off gear, and that's where we lose. At this level where we are not selling licensing yet. Kuna mtu anauza copyrights na licensing. But before I go deeper into that, Zander ameguzia kitu muhimu sana. As this is a cinematography and led podcast, African Real Insights, Zander ameguzia kitu zinaitwa shots. I'll just dive into that for a minute. Zander, what is a master shot? I'm a money shot. You know a money shot? Yeah. What is a money shot to you? And then I'll dive into that as a cinematographer too. Let's see the types of shots we know and what actors and terms they use also. Sikia money shot ni gani ama ni inaitwa money shot. Master shot. What's that for you?
So basically, as an actor, the master shot inakwanga one of the more essential shots. Basically, it's the shot that allows you to perform the whole scene, unbothered, untouched, nothing, and you just shoot the scene from the beginning till the end. Then sometimes it trickle down now to like the wide shots or the medium shots, which is now they get closer to you. So basically, the camera is just moving closer and closer to you. So they would start with the master, where you can do your whole performance, and then they'll do a wide shot where they can get the performances of, let's say if they need to put 2 characters in a scene, more than 2, but they need to set it up in a smaller environment. And then finally, what I consider is the money shot, close-ups. Sasa, where unaonyesha your performance. And it usually works on also your performance as well, because your performance also waters down as it goes. Because in the master shot, you have more freedom to move around and stuff. Alafu inakuja to the medium. where you kind of have some movement, but you need to remember your constraints. And then finally the close-up where it's just you and your face.
Thank you so much. Well said, Zander. But hata nikwambie kitu, if you write that for your exam, unakewa wrong. Unasikia, as a cinematographer, we don't call it money shot. It's because the talent is paid to do this, and it's their face on screen. So we call it the money shot, because this is his performance, as we call it a close-up. So if you're doing an exam, it's a CU, but for him to give you the best performance, tunamchocha tukiongeza do. That's your money shot. It's time for the money shot. Give us the performance. So as we wrap up, tumewapatia tips mbili so far, ama ni tatu. Communication, si ndio? Na ya kwanza tumewapatia ni gani? Guys, I know you seated there. Nataka kuniambia first tip was shout tu. Wanajua mko hapo. First tip was learn the lines. No. First tip was save time for your client. So set up quickly, set down quickly. Why are you learning the lines? To save time. No, Zander square hapo ana shoot mini jam, nianze kumwongelesha buda shika lines, you get. So to keep that flow going, you must save time by getting your lines. Tip number 2 tumepatia ni communicate effectively. And then last but not least, Zander's already touched on it. I'll just bring some light into it. Tip number 3 as we wind up for this session would be blocking. The communication aspect and blocking is very essential. So as you're blocking, this is the time where you and the crew need to learn exactly where one thing starts and ends. And for me, as that cinematographer, as we are doing our rehearsal, this is when I'm blocking. Most sets, you'll find we don't do rehearsal, so we don't block. We tend to take a take and we learn from the mistake, then do another take. So we must do a rehearsal for proper blocking for the crew and the cast to know where the set is going to start from and where it's going to end from. So as we wind up, it's very important. It's very important for us to know how to express or show the expressions our talents are delivering on set. And apart from using these types of shots, there are other things we use, storytelling and scripting. So for the talent, I normally believe talents are a vessel. They have a purpose. So as a talent, Zander, I'd like you to really take me through your process. I've tried acting before. You can check out the film. It's called Monte. It's on YouTube. Monte. Unajua Jonte? So switch to Jonte, weke Monte. Monte. It's on YouTube. You can check it out. I was also the director of photography. As you're winding up, Zander, how do you prepare? What's your process like before shooting? And then there are a couple of projects you've been working on. I'd really like you to tuambie ni gani na gani, alafu utuambie how was the process for you and the experience. Na najua ulikuwa sugar. So ulipataje your story? How did you get the opportunity to work with them? Yeah.
Hey, it's a lot. But yeah, okay, in terms of preparation, usually you'd go through the audition process. So mostly come to the studio or the place of the location, come to your audition. After that, there will be things they call callbacks. A callback is like they like your the first initial round, and they'll call you back to come perform. Then after the callback is now the most intense part where you wait to get the gig. So when you get the call and it's finally been confirmed, usually we go in to sign contracts and meet the crew and the cast. So afterwards, that's when now the real work begins, where it's the process of you getting the script and now internalizing the script, learning the lines, getting the things that you need to do. So how I like to do it, I initially ask for the script, I get the script, take it home. I have markers and pens that I kind of underline my lines in and work on the script, build the character, write stories about the character that in whatever points I like. And then, yeah, sometimes if I can, we'll communicate to my fellow co-stars and we'll have rehearsals. Most of the times it can be on the phone. Thanks to the power of WhatsApp and internet, we can do like long calls for whatever.
Meetings, yeah, teamwork.
So it's sort of like our own meetings and putting your own discipline into it. So afterwards, that's when now you prepare and we come onto set. And those are the first days. Actually, before we do set, we usually do a lot of rehearsals. Then you have the wardrobe. Fittings. Okay. Which is very essential because you need to know which clothes are comfortable.
Colors.
Yes, there's the color scheme. There's how pre-production has planned it. So you need to meet with the team. So that's sort of our space now in the pre-production part of it. So you'll do fittings, sometimes screen tests, where we'll come onto set and see how the dynamics of the set works, so that you can learn how, on the days when you start shooting, this is how it goes. Another essential thing that you usually do is hair and makeup tests. That's very essential, especially for people who...
Wait, Zander. You said hair and makeup?
Yes.
Bro, you said hair and makeup. As if they do makeup for you, I might just touches to just remove the highlights or the it's called oiliness.
The oiliness,
yeah. It's that. That's a simple basics, you know. Okay. I thought you have like a whole full face of makeup.
Yeah, some sets. I'll let you know.
Okay. Keep telling them.
Yeah, but hair and makeup. So basically, they'll give you. A lot of the times, you're working with mood boards.
Muy importante. We're gonna dive into that too.
Yes. So mood boards are sort of like what they have envisioned for your character and sort of situation. So even with the hair, they'll be like, okay, this is the hairstyle we want you to rock. This is how we're going to do it. Most sets, they'll have like on-set barbers, or you kind of agree with each other where to go to cut your hair.
Yes, sir.
Because one of the more important things, and they really stress this a lot, is continuity.
Continuity.
Yes. And that is something we always have to communicate with each other. So I can't just decide one day I'm going to cut my hair and not tell the set. That can literally cost them days, and the client will be pissed off. So that's the process. And then, eventually now we get to the fun part where we come to set. Early mornings, you get your coffee, your tea, what you have you.
Celeb life. yeah. Caster.
You go set up, you get your hair done, the touch-ups, then you get your costume, then you come to the set and you perform.
Okay, well said. So that is, as Zander is doing that, imagine there's someone who sat down and wrote all these things from the top of his head. Ali imagine, and he pitched and then he was granted. So what's the next step? Where do I come in as a cinematographer? This person after pitching is the producer. Then he comes, start doing a kamapa. He traces me. Uncle Marcus, I'm doing a movie. Could you come through? I've already casted and all that. So I'm like, yes. And when I come on board, what do I offer? What am I going to do? In pre-production, as Zander said, I'll probably meet the crew and get to know who is who. During this point, the paperwork I'm going to make. And most of the time, these are the things I charge for. Pre-production, I charge for the storyboard or mood board, as Zander said, and the shortlist. From the script, the first paperwork I get is the script. So after I get the script, I have to break down this idea in a way that it can be digested by someone else or me. Easier and faster. At this point, I make a storyboard, I go to the location, we shoot photos, the specific things we'll be doing, exact, and then combine the photos into a document, and that's ideally how it's gonna be. If you look at the photos, it's a collage of photos just telling me the entire story. After that, I do a short list. Now this is more detailed. Now this is exact, the wardrobe he's wearing, the people who are going to be in the frame, the lighting, the shot size, the camera movement. Why? Because all these things are supposed to bring the emotions or the feelings that the talent, in our case Zander, is bringing on location. So these two paperworks as a cinematographer are the first things you should make for pre-production, so that they help you during production. And back to our point and our biggest takeaway during this session, time saving. Saving time for your clients. To save time, you're going to make more money. If you save time, you're going to do more projects. For this episode, I might say time management on the most, that's what I'm gonna make you take home today. And as we wind up, you're seeing the gloves, yeah, you're seeing the gaiter. Yeah. We sell this also. I go by the groovy Uncle Marcus. I'm gonna put the link down there on one Bloom Shape. They go for a couple of reds to, I think 5 reds, 8 reds. 5 reds, 8 reds unazipata. They get working gloves and the gaiter. For ladies and men, everything is available. What was set? See at in your set life. For gripping, for lights. Also, what I'm going to do the gang, this gaiter goes all the way. You'll check it out. I'll put the link on the description. Zander, as we wind up the projects you've been doing, there's something I've dropped actually the other day, but before that, let's go back. The projects you've been doing. I want you to speak on sugar and give me a life on that. How was that process and how did you hook that in? And it's a big story. There's something I want to touch on there to help these guys make more money.
Make more money.
They're not doing it. They're not doing it. Able tell us, how was it and how did you get it?
So initially, they had posted on Instagram asking for people to come do auditions. So it was an online process.
By the way, tuliona na ile setting in audition. Busu, give me 5. You put in the works. You know, you must show. If you don't go for the work, then you never get it. Continue.
So yeah, so they asked for you to perform a monologue and then send it to them. They had attached an email to the thing. The good thing I had an agent. So my agent also sent me a script and asked that some of the producers had seen my work and they had asked me to put in a tape. So I also sent him a self-tape as well. So it just happened to happen on the same day.
Okay.
Sent in the tape and then it took about like two months afterwards. Then I got the call and they asked me to come do an audition. At the time I was living in Cape Town. So they asked me to come do an audition in Johannesburg. So I came in and we did one round of a live audition. And it was like similar setup, camera. You
relocated? You were leaving for your school? Oh, you're already there for school or something?
Yeah. I started for school and then I came back for work.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I was doing work as a model and also as an actor.
I had goals of being a model sometime back when, but life happens.
She's not stopped.
So as Zander said, he has an agent, and it's also something common for us in Africa, in Kenya. Most actors don't have agents, so that's one thing I want to bring across also. So if you're behind the end, you're watching this podcast, you're thinking, yo, nataka kukuwa actor. Naweza fanya aje? Zander amesha kupatia tip moja kama actor, get an agent. Because his agent is the reason he got the opportunity, but he also has experience and a catalog of projects he's been doing. On that same note of projects, I'll put it out there. There's this shorty, she's called Big Nemo. She just dropped her music video, courtesy of Point 11 Studios. I was on set. The BTS videos are on YouTube also. Check it out, his Uncle Marcus Nexus. You can check out the BTS video, subscribe, share. We are winding up, and thank you so much for tuning in and being part of this session. This is African Real Insights podcast. Zander, any remarks for the people watching behind the scenes?
I would say, guys, take your time, put in the work. Even when you're not working, you need to be just working on something. It does not necessarily have to be on a set or anything. If you can shoot or like work on your projects or work on your lines or whatever, you're always learning. Keep learning constantly, improving yourself. Things like this is like training a muscle, so that the moment you get back onto the sets or you get to work, it'll be easier. So yeah, keep working, keep grinding, even in the darkness.
Well said, my brother, well said. Thank you so much for tuning in. But before we go, nimesema tuko wapi? Tuko ADMI Institute. And I have this, I'm going to leave this opportunity for the people behind the scenes. If you're watching right now, na uko hapa na sisi, any question or query before we go or close this session would be welcome at this point. Swali yoyote, ongea na mimi, ongea tu. Hata usifikirie sana, ongea tu niambie ni nini unauliza. Anyone? Going once?
What's the most challenging thing you've ever experienced being an actor?
The question is for Zander, and I'll repeat the question. What's the most challenging thing you've ever experienced being an actor? Zander, I think that's your question.
It's a lot of things, but I would say having to do really long shoots, especially at night. I had to do this one scene that was very long, and we shot it from like 9 p.m. to almost 3 a.m. and it was just one scene with multiple shots, and you have to remember you have monologues to do, you have a lot of lines, a lot of movements, so just remembering that and sort of having to push through with my own energy. So yeah, it was very difficult, but I got through it.
Okay, thank you so much, Zander. On that same question, just to put in some context also in my experience, back when I was a student, we did a project. This was at Tafty, and the project was a gay scene, man. It was a gay scene. Yeah. So I had to like act like a gay guy, and it was tough that to hire someone else. Yeah. I couldn't do it. That was the toughest thing for me. Yeah. I couldn't do it, but because I couldn't bring it out the way they wanted. And I'm a vessel as a talent or an actor. So if it's not working, you get fired. Someone else is given the opportunity. Any other question? Any other question as we wind up, guys?
What inspired you to become an actor?
So the question is, what inspired you to become an actor? Zander, I think this one is for you also. Okay, go for it.
For me, it was basically, I've never been a kid that's always been very quiet or put together. I'm always very active. When I was younger, I used to walk around my backyard and even the school, just imagining characters and just developing sort of characters. And that creative flow has always been my thing. So when I got to do a play once when I was younger, I finally understood what this was, this whole creating the character, performing and being an entertainer. Something I really love is to entertain people. So I think that love just grew from like being able to be on sets and be on stage and understanding what is this world that I keep creating and how can I put it on to the ground. So yeah, so what inspired me is like, you know, just being active, seeing all the greats do it, and just being able to create. I'm just an entertainer by heart. Yeah.
Well said. And lastly, as we wind up, we'll take one more question, guys. Anyone? Go for it.
So if someone who has been both in Kenya and in South Africa, what could you say is the difference in terms of the industry here and there, and what can we learn in case we are the ones who are a little bit short of experience and everything?
Okay. Can you repeat? You've understood the question though?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
So definitely, I think one of the major things that South Africa had was that they really invested they're very invested in whatever they want. So one of the big things was film. And the fact that they were able to, most of the people there have all gone to school. Like anyone who's doing anything, even to be an actor or to get an agency, like the proper agencies, you'll have to have had a certificate, get a degree or something. So people are always constantly learning and taking lessons. And with that, they get to learn new stuff and develop new things. So that's how they learn about new cameras, different ways to shoot things, different ways to act and stuff, because they're always constantly learning. So, and I feel that that's something that's lacking. People just come into the industry and expect to be taken seriously, and we end up getting things that are not as appealing. Right? So that's how we started learning things like how to shoot well, how to act well, and in that they learned the business of film. And with that, they're able to bring collaborators into the film world. So people who've already done amazing work, like people from Hollywood, they would bring them in and they'll teach them like, okay, this is the kind of camera you need to use. This is how you shoot the shot. This is how you frame it. This is how you make it look cinematic. And then with that, they took those lessons and then they passed it down to the other generations, and then they got better and better at it. So a lot of, I would say, going to school and learning has been great for like the people in South Africa, and that's something I hope we get to more.
And the person who has asked that question, you're on the right track. Jutuko ADMI side, so Manisha is trying to learn and upskills. And pursuing, if you're trying to get into the creative economy also, there's so many courses online. So in terms of learning, just to encourage you, you can do it online. You don't have to do physical classes also. Sure. Even ADMI has online classes. Yeah, so you guys are on the right track. Just to encourage you at home, if you're doing something right now, start now. Don't take too long procrastinating. And as we wind up, we want to say thank you for the host, the guys who are here, the audience also, the guys watching this. I go by the groovy Uncle Marcus. I'm the man, I'm your man, and you can call me Uncle Marcus. Thank you, fam, for tuning in. Subscribe, share. This has been African A Real Insight Podcast. And till next time, see you later.